Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive. Today we're exploring some ancient wisdom with the Yi Jing, specifically Hexagram 36 Ming Yi. You can kind of think of the Yi Jing like a philosophical roadmap, maybe a bit like tarot.
Yeah, but with roots going way back in Chinese history and thought.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But today we're zeroing in on Ming Yi, which translates to, well, this is interesting.
Darkening of the light.
Yeah, or eclipse. I mean, that's some pretty evocative imagery right off the bat.
It is, and it sets the stage for understanding this hexagram, which is all about how to navigate those times when things feel, well, dark.
Okay, so when you say eclipse, how does that actually play out visually in this hexagram?
So you've got the trigram of earth, kun, sitting above the trigram of fire.
Eclipse above fire, okay.
Yeah, and that literally represents light being obscured, like earth is smothering the fire.
Wow, I see it. And one of the sources we're looking at uses this amazing phrase, I see, which basically means a phoenix lowering its wings, choosing darkness over light, talk about setting the mood.
Right, but it's not just about mood, it's strategic. Like the phoenix isn't giving up, it's biding its time.
Interesting.
And that's actually what the guachi, the overall judgment of this hexagram, emphasizes. Cautious action. It's kind of like that saying, don't burn bridges you might need to cross later.
Right. Hasty decisions rarely work out when you're already in a tough spot, so patience is key here.
Definitely. But there's also a warning woven into Ming Yi. Watch out for betrayal.
Oh.
Yeah. Ming Yi highlights how circumstances can really change people, even those you thought you could trust.
Oh, so not only do we have to watch our own steps, but also keep an eye on who's around us.
Exactly. Discernment is really important in a Ming Yi situation. And this lack of clarity isn't just about people, it's about information, too.
Okay, how so?
Well, the Tuoduan, which adds another layer of interpretation, talks about travelers not arriving, like vital pieces of the puzzle are missing.
So it's like we're in a mystery novel. External confusion, A&D, we got to watch out for shady characters.
Yeah, kinda. And just like in a good mystery, there's this internal element, too.
Oh, interesting.
The Daxiang, the great image of Ming Yi, talks about the sun hidden beneath the earth. So it's not just that things are unclear, but you feel disoriented, like your usual way of seeing is blocked.
That makes sense. And that actually ties into what the Yun Qi, the fortune section, says, right?
Yeah.
About obstacles and potential harm, especially from those, what was the phrase?
Petty individuals.
Right, petty individuals.
It's like everyone's a bit lost, and some might act in ways that aren't, their usual selves.
So are we saying Ming Yi is like a crash course in dealing with the tough stuff? Betrayal, confusion, feeling stuck, all of that?
You could say that, yeah. Ming Yi's about understanding that darkness is part of life's natural cycle.
Right.
It's not about avoiding it, but knowing how to move through it.
And ideally, come out stronger on the other side. But how practical is this ancient wisdom, really? Can we actually APY Ming Yi to, our modern lives?
Absolutely. The source material gives specific examples of how these principles work in different areas. Take love, for example.
Okay.
Ming Yi basically says unrequited love is going to be hard to overcome.
Oh, so even thousands of years ago, people were dealing with heartbreak. Some things are universal, huh?
They really are. And when it comes to health, Ming Yi's a bit more ominous.
How so?
It warns about potentially long-hidden illnesses, particularly ones connected to the heart, abdomen, or nervous system.
Definitely a reminder to, pay attention to our well-being, not ignore those nagging feelings.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what about lost items? Here, Ming Yi gets a bit more hopeful.
Oh, okay, that's good.
It suggests you might not find what's lost right away, but just when you're about to give up, there's a chance of an unexpected discovery.
So there's a silver lining. Even when acknowledging the darkness, Ming Yi doesn't say there's no hope.
Exactly. It's about understanding the phases, right? And lastly, when it comes to legal matters, Ming Yi actually advises against lawsuits.
Interesting. Why is that?
Well, it suggests they'll likely bring more hardship and recommends seeking reconciliation instead. Sometimes peace is better than winning.
It's fascinating how one hexagram can offer so much guidance for life.
It really is. That's the beauty of the Yi Jing, I think. It provides this framework for understanding change and making choices that align with the natural flow of things.
Okay, so to really get a feel for Ming Yi's power, let's look at some of those original lines. That first one is pretty direct, right?
It is. It's like the hexagram's mission statement. Darkening of the light. It is beneficial to persevere in adversity.
Yeah, very straightforward. And then there's this image from line 2. He lowers his wings. The superior man does not eat for 3 days on his wanderings.
Right. This is about that strategic retreat, conserving energy, keeping your goals in sight, even when things are tough.
And line 6, I find this one incredibly powerful. The darkening of the light in the Prince of Chu. He honors him with a carriage of gold. Perseverance brings good fortune.
Wow, yeah.
It's like saying, even in the darkest times, those unexpected rewards and honor are possible if you stay true to yourself.
It's a message of resilience and hope. Even when light fades, it doesn't vanish.
Right.
There's potential for transformation, unexpected blessings, and a path to a brighter future, even if it leads through the darkness.
We've covered a lot so far, from the imagery and warnings to practical advice.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
I know, right? There's so much more to uncover about Ming Yi and how its wisdom can help us in those challenging moments.
Definitely.
But for now, let's take a moment to digest all this.
Yeah, let it sink in.
We'll be right back to share some key takeaways from Ming Yi and leave you with a final thought to ponder. Okay, welcome back. I gotta say, those images we were just talking about, they're really sticking with me.
Yeah, they're powerful, aren't they?
The Phoenix, that Prince of Chu, just that whole sense of navigating in the dark. It's a lot to process.
Well, they get to the heart of what Ming Yi is about, don't they? Resilience, patience, and being adaptable when circumstances change. Like not fighting the darkness, but learning to see within it.
You know, it's funny. I used to think of the Yi Jing as mainly fortune-telling. But with Ming Yi, it feels more like, I don't know, a guidebook for when things get rough.
Right, exactly. It's not about predicting the future. It's about having the tools to handle whatever comes your way.
And that's what makes it so timeless, right?
I think so, yeah. Setbacks, betrayal, uncertainty, those are human experiences that happen no matter what area you're in.
Totally. So we've covered a lot of ground, but for our listener, what are the most important things to remember about Ming Yi?
Well, I'd say there are 3 core principles. First, caution. It's a time for strategic retreat, like that Phoenix image we talked about.
Right. Don't rush into things.
Exactly. Think twice before burning any bridges, you know.
Patience over panic. Got it. What's the second point?
Second, be aware of shifting loyalties. Ming Yi reminds us that tough times can reveal people's true colors. It's not about being cynical, just realistic.
Right. Protect yourself. Okay, so we've got caution, discernment. What's the third thing?
The third one's crucial. Remember that darkness is not permanent. It's a phase.
Like an eclipse.
Exactly. It'll pass eventually. What Ming Yi emphasizes is perseverance, staying true to your values.
And having hope.
Yeah, holding on to that hope for a brighter future.
Those are really powerful points. I think anyone going through something difficult could find a lot of strength in those reminders.
I hope so.
You know, it's like, even when Ming Yi's warning you, it's also empowering you to take action.
Right.
To navigate wisely.
Yeah, exactly. It's not passive acceptance, it's active adaptation. You're not just waiting. Right. You're learning how to move within the darkness.
And maybe even use it to your advantage, right?
Exactly. That's what makes Ming Yi so relevant even today. It's this reminder that we have inner resources we can tap into during challenging times.
We just have to figure out how to access them.
Yeah, and Ming Yi kind of provides the map for that.
It's like having this ancient wisdom whispering in your ear saying, hey, I've seen this before. Here's how to handle it.
Exactly. We're all connected to this deep well of human experience, you know.
This has been really eye-opening. I feel like I've gained a whole new perspective on not just the Yi Jing, but on how to approach challenges in my own life, too.
Me too, definitely.
And I'm sure our listeners feeling something similar, like, wow, this is powerful stuff.
I hope so. So to bring all this together, let's shift gears a bit. I want to pose a question to our listener, something to really reflect on.
So think back for a minute. Have you ever had a Ming Yi experience, like a time when you felt lost or confused or maybe even betrayed? How did you deal with that darkness? What helped you find your way back to the light?
It's a good question. Really makes you think, doesn't it? It's like we're connecting this ancient wisdom to our own lives.
Yeah, exactly.
We all have those Ming Yi stories, and thinking about them, it can be so insightful, you know?
It's like Ming Yi isn't just this abstract concept from way back when. It's a human experience, something we all go through. Those periods of darkness, they happen to everyone. But it's how we navigate them that really shapes who we become.
That's so true. And something else to keep in mind, the Yi Jing, Ming Yi included, it's not about like predicting your destiny. It's more about understanding these patterns of change, making choices that, you know, work with those patterns. It's a tool, not a rule book.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Ming Yi, I think the biggest takeaway is this. Even when the light fades, it doesn't disappear completely. There's always a glimmer of hope, a chance for renewal, and a path towards a brighter future.
Beautifully said. And sometimes that path, it takes us through the darkness, not around it. But remember, even in the darkest night, the stars are still shining. You just got to keep looking up and you'll find your way.
I love that. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of Ming Yi. I hope you've learned something valuable today. Maybe even found a bit of hope for navigating those inevitable dark times in your own life.
Yeah, until next time, may your paths be illuminated even in the shadows